Season 53, War Number 2. Today we've matched up against NY718, and the bands are Corvus, Null, Photon, Titania, and Hulk. And my team today is going to be a Mega Sentinel, Silk, and Kushala. So I have 2 new rank 3s on the team after Cyber Weekend, which just turned out to be a pretty funny coincidence, I guess. A Mega Sentinel's only here for this 1 Weapon X fight, but then I have 3 minis with Kushala, which is going to be a really fun time. So I'm starting today on Path 8, Weapon X. He doesn't necessarily benefit from the nodes, however, if you do get hit while he has the cruelty up from No Hit Mercy, then it's gonna be a very rough time, so let's just not get hit. That's kind of the game plan, and just do regular Mega Sentinel stuff, and that's gonna be it. Have my 3 heal blocks up, which is great. Gonna go for a pause, and now I just want to get to an SP2 and drop it for some plasmas. I need him to get a special throne, and now he's in Berserk, so counter him there, and we're almost at the SP2. Heal block's there, so he really doesn't have any threats as far as like living forever or whatever. But there's 4 plasmas, they do pretty decent damage, and then he dies just like that. So now we're gonna move on to node 17. This is Mangog. We're gonna fight it with Silk, of course, and in this fight I wasn't really sure how the interaction would work, but I assumed that the ability accuracy reduction that he placed on me per buff on him could mess with my evade, so I'm going to try to avoid letting him throw an SP2, because that would be pretty bad. It would probably not be unblockable, so I could still block it. But best case scenario, he just, doesn't throw it, so that's why we use a Power Start 1, go to an SP3, and just drop it. Because that just kind of kills him. That's how Silk's SP3 works in this game in Alliance War. So, there we go. We're going to come out of the animation with a 3-hit combo, followed by a 2-hit combo, followed by another combo that we're going to eventually cancel into a heavy attack, which cancels into a relic, which then we light, pause, light, medium, light, heavy into a special 2. And yeah, obviously we didn't have to do much of that because he just died so fast. But now we move on to Path 4, where we fight this Werewolf by Night, which he's on this node because he can eventually go unblockable if you somehow get a Rupture on you, because that would be 3 debuffs, but we're just not going to get a Rupture on us. And Silk also reduces Rupture duration by 90%, so wouldn't really matter too much anyway. And yeah, this placement's literally nothing when Silk is whitelisted. So, we do a bunch of my combo things, and then he dies before I even get to my SP2, which would have done way too much overkill damage. So now we're fighting Dust on node 31. Again, I have died to this fight before a couple seasons ago. It is still kind of difficult, but with Silk and a Power Start 1 boost, you just do the normal things by getting to an SP3, and then Silk just can't do anything. So, gets a nice light intercept there, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to take some hits, because I just messed up. Yep, there it was. But now I'm just like, okay, thanks for charging the heavy, I guess, because I can just kill you now. So finish the heavy attack animation, but don't let it actually knock Dust down, because then you still keep your Fury. 3-hit combo, 2-hit combo, light, medium, heavy, relic, light, pause, light, medium, heavy, SP2. And that is Dust. So now we move on to the more interesting fights of the war, I'd say, which are 3 Kushala mini bosses, which is funny how I ended up having 3 of them. But I got all the boosts active, all the fun stuff, and I'm just going to use an invul right here, which, invul is not going to be that big for Gorr because he usually hurts you with damage over time, but it's a little bit different on this node because of the fact that he has Opportunist, which is just going to scale his attack by a crazy amount. With how much attack rating he has because of how many buffs he has. So I just keep dropping SP2s. Mystic Dispersion is going to keep pushing me back to SP2s because of how it works with Kushala. When a buff is triggered, she triggers Mystic Dispersion. So we have like 14k per tick soul barb damage right now, which is pretty good, and now it's 21k almost. and then Gorr dies in 30 seconds. I was actually worried about that fight before going into that, but it turns out I did not need to be. So, now we move on to Maestro on node 46, or 44, I mean. This is Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Poison. Obviously, Kushala is only immune to poison, but she just has so much damage that we're just going to play around one phase, and that's all that really matters. I'm going to eat a couple poisons because, well, it's only like 1 or 2, so I can afford to do so. But anyway, we want to get to an SP2, drop it for the Soul Barb, of course, because Maestro is Incinerate immune. And then get a nice passive Soul Barb there. It's doing some pretty nice damage. Heal a little bit back of the block damage, even though the poisons are mitigating some of it, but we're also back in the Incinerate phase, so I'm just going to play aggressive and then drop another SP2, place another Soul Barb, and now we're doing almost 14,000 per tick, 16,000 there, almost 17, and that Maestro is dead. So, final fight of the war. Serpent on node 46. Another fight I was slightly nervous about going into it, so we're going to see how well it goes. We do have Mr. Fantastic pre-fights and a White Magneto pre-fight coming from other Alliance members. So we're going to go into this with the spamming SP1 rotation. We want to try to keep his Cull Force down if we can help it, and yeah, that's just the main goal. We can use the SP1 to nullify the big fury he gets from his Dread, which is going to make us take a lot less damage, so that's really helpful. He's going to have that resistance up active a lot during this fight, which is annoying, but it's not too big a deal. We are going to mitigate it a little bit like that, but now it's back, and it's probably going to be back for the rest of the fight, so I just want to heal a bunch of block damage by keeping my blue blessing up and dropping SP1s to just kill him as fast as I can at this point. And get a nice parry there, and then another parry, and then another parry. So now I have some really nice extended blessings. Drop an SP1, nullify some buffs, refresh the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights, and we're almost in the final phase of the fight. Holding my relic just to make sure I have it as my safety net for the very end, and his healing is basically shut off. So yeah, there we go. So he goes down, and that is my 7-fight war. Definitely featuring Kushala in this one, which is pretty great, again, because I just ranked 3'd her. We did win this war, so now we are 1-1 on the season, with a really nice death count. That's like the lowest death count we might have ever had in this alliance, at least as far as I've been here. And with only 5, obviously this tactic's a little bit easier, so take that for what you will, but I'm definitely happy with how it went. Another funny thing was we had an Alliance member just leave mid-war out of the blue after they died to a fight, so I had to get someone who luckily had not joined war yet, who was my Section 1 backup, to get in and finish that path. It was just very lucky that we could win this because of the fact that he just left mid-war, so that's really fun. But anyway, thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next video.